This demonstration will just be looking at how you can use Overton to enhance your funding and grant applications. So we're going to use a simple search term, so climate change and health inequalities, and search policy documents. So this term will come up with a lot. So if I'm looking at it from a funding or grant application perspective, I might want to narrow things down to my institution, first of all. So we add that filter, and we're University of Arizona today. And then I might want to narrow things down to funders that I have already worked with or funders that I know my university has a connection to. So if we scroll down on the left-hand side, down again, we've got Cites Work from Funder. So this will show us policy documents which have cited work from particular funding bodies. So if I already know that my institution has a connection to the World Health Organization, I can add that. Let's add the US Department of Health and Human Services as well. And we'll just stick to those two for now and apply that filter. So this has narrowed things down to 210 results. So that's nice and helpful. And we've got quite a lot of policy documents which are cited by other policy documents. So you can really see and demonstrate that the work that has gone into this policy document has then carried on and filtered through into a wider research network and a wider policy environment. So that's something you can really emphasize in showing the impact of your research in a funding or grant application. If we scroll down, we can see these articles tend to be including an author. So Diana Liverman seems to have contributed quite a lot to this area of research. And if I want to explore exactly how the work has been used in this policy document, so I can really explain what impact and how the work is being used, I can click on where the work has been referenced. So on page 12 here, and it will take me to that PDF where the reference has appeared, and then I can check that my work is being used in the way that I want it to, and that it's making sense, and the impact that it's had on that policy document. So that's one way you can really explore funding and the impact of already existing funding research. You could also have a look at a report. So we've got See Report here. And if we scroll down, we've also got a list of other funders here. So we selected the World Health Organization and the US Department of Human and Health Research, I think. But you've also got funders of cited research here. So the other funders who have contributed and been cited in those policy documents. So you might want to explore some of the others. You've got a list of funders there who are contributing to that research area and being cited in those policy documents. So you could explore any of these here. Let's go for the Wellcome Trust. And it's really daisy chaining your way again across some of these documents to see where the research is ending up. So that is policy documents. If you wanted to explore exactly which scholarly articles are being cited by these policy documents in connection to this funding, then we can explore the policy documents as well. So we can explore the scholarly articles, So we've got the explore function here. What you can do is look at the list of people mentioned or cited in these documents. That might help you put together a research team or see who's already making an impact in that area, which may be useful for funding and grant application purposes. Or you can see the scholarly research these documents cite, and that might inform where you go in your scholarly research, in your research strategy. It might inform which funders you apply for. So let's have a look at that scholarly research. Okay, so this area has a lot of scholarly articles attached to it, so more than 58,000. So we will want to narrow things down a bit to get a bit of a better view, I think. But you can see that, for example, this scholarly article has been cited by 638 policy documents. So that in itself is a high number. It's clear that that's had a lot of impact, and it's made its way and maintained its presence in policy for quite some time. You can see that it was published in 1998, but it's still appearing in policies in 2023. So that really gives you an insight into just how much of an impact and how much of a difference and influence this scholarly article has had in policy. And if we show a little more, we've got all of these policies here. And again, we can link out to that scholarly article as well. So if we want to narrow things down a little bit more, let's go back to applying our institutional filter. And that article still appears, so good for this particular article. And then maybe we want to narrow things down by a particular funder as well. Again, so let's go for... There we are. Let's go for a few examples. Let's add National Institutes of Health and the National Heart, Lung and Blood Institution. Why not? And ESRC. So we'll apply those filters, and we've got 13 results now, and we can have a bit more of an insight into where they are applying and what sort of research is funded, on how that has made its way into policy documents. Finally, if we go back onto our Explore tab and see the policy citing these papers, then one other filter may be useful to you in your funding and grant applications, and that is the SDG filter. Now, all of the features that have beta next to it are in development, they're being tweaked, but they are still very useful. So we can see that the policy documents in our current search are related to sustainable development goals, and a lot of funding bodies take these goals into account as part of the grant application. So if we can look at our policy documents or our scholarly research which have been cited by policy documents that also answer or contribute to a sustainable development goal, this could also enhance our application for funding or a grant. So if we click on the Good Health and Wellbeing SDG, we've got a little bit more insight into the policy documents again. So this policy document is also cited by 5 other policy documents, and we can go on to our scholarly article which has been cited and look in depth at that research and how it's being used. And again, we can go through the exploring feature as well. So if we add our institution filter back again, the final thing we can have a look at is people. So we can have a list of people mentioned or cited in these documents. And then we can narrow it down again to the University of Arizona if we want to look for people within our own institution to collaborate with, or we can use the myriad list of names here from other institutions. So there's loads of people contributing to these topics. So let's just apply our university filter there again. And there's 46 authors. So if I was going to gather a research group to work together on a grant application or a funding application, I might use this filter to inform who I want to reach out to in terms of already successful publications and ways into policy documents. So that's a very quick, light touch demonstration of some of the features you can use in Overton to inform the type of funding you might be looking at, the type of funding bodies you may approach or apply to, and the research that they are funding, and how it has made its way into policy documents. So it can really be used right at the beginning of a funding application, all the way through to the end to demonstrate the impact or the influence that your research has had after being funded as well. And this could inform future funding applications or a continuation of a research funding program as well. So there's lots of different uses at different stages of the research cycle. Thank you for watching this short demonstration, and if you'd like any more information about Overton, please do get in touch using our email address support@overton.io. Thank you very much.